Welcome back, Focus Learners, to another explainer. For years, there's been this massive, totally unsecured gray area in our everyday communications, and that is the divide between Androids and iPhones. Today, we're diving into a major, brand new update that finally bridges this gap. It literally alters how our phones talk to each other. We're going to unpack this huge cross-industry collaboration that takes aim at one of the longest-standing security flaws in mobile tech. It's totally transforming how millions of us send our most personal messages.
So let me ask you something. Are your cross-platform text messages actually private? I mean, we text across different phone brands every single day without even a second thought, right? But historically, the second a message leaves an Android and heads to an iPhone, it enters this incredibly vulnerable space. You probably know it culturally as the whole green bubble versus blue bubble thing, but it's way more than just the color of a text box. That divide represented a massive drop in security. Because platforms couldn't agree on a modern standard, they had to fall back on literally decades-old tech just to get your message delivered, meaning you were sending your private thoughts, photos, and all that sensitive info without any modern protections. Well, today, we're breaking down exactly how this new update is putting an end to that vulnerability for good.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the Messaging Security Milestone.
To understand how big this is, we kind of have to look at the past. For years, Google Messages actually had end-to-end encryption, but it was completely siloed. It worked great, but only if you were texting another Android device. And Apple? They had a very similar walled garden for their own users. So the moment you tried texting a friend or a coworker who used a different phone brand, poof, you instantly lost that essential security layer. Both phones were totally capable of advanced encryption, but they just refused to speak the same secure language. Well, today that paradigm shifts completely. Google and Apple are rolling out a unified reality, where we finally get end-to-end encryption for chats between Android and iPhone users. We're officially leaving behind those isolated security models. The brand of phone in your pocket doesn't dictate your privacy anymore. It's honestly a super rare moment of cross-industry teamwork that actually puts the user first.
Okay, let's dive into this. What does end-to-end encryption, or E2E, actually mean for you? Simply put, it means your messages literally can't be read while they're being sent between devices. Think of it like sending a locked safe through the mail, and only the person you're sending it to has the exact key to open it. Even the mail carrier hauling the safe has no idea what's inside. In the digital world, your words are scrambled and locked down the absolute millisecond you hit send. As your data bounces through cell towers, over Wi-Fi networks, and across servers, it is just total gibberish to anyone trying to intercept it. Your cellular provider can't read it, the tech giants can't read it, and hackers definitely can't read it. It is absolute privacy. Your message only becomes readable the exact moment it safely lands on your friend's screen.
Moving right along to Section 2, replacing traditional SMS.
So how is this cross-platform security actually happening? It's all thanks to RCS, which stands for Rich Communication Services. See, for decades, the fallback for cross-platform texting was SMS. And guys, SMS is practically ancient history in tech years. It was developed way back in the 1980s. The glaring flaw with SMS is that it sends your data in plain text. Whenever an iPhone and an Android needed to talk, they relied on this archaic plain text system, leaving messages wide open to interception along the journey. Now, RCS is the modern format stepping up to officially replace that outdated system. By leaving an effort to bake end-to-end encryption directly into the RCS standard, the industry is effectively making unsecured SMS completely obsolete. They aren't just slapping a Band-Aid on an old problem here. They're tearing up the old foundation and laying down a brand new standard that's inherently secure from the ground up.
That brings us to Section 3, Rollout and Requirements. Let's look at how you can actually get this.
There are exactly 3 things required for both iPhone and Android users to get in on today's beta rollout. First up, iPhone users got to be running iOS 18. That's the major update where Apple officially flipped the switch on RCS support. Second, you need to be on a supported carrier. This is a super vital piece of the puzzle because, unlike messaging apps that just use the internet, RCS is deeply tied into telecom networks. The carriers themselves actually have to update their backend systems to handle this modern encrypted standard. And third, Android users need to be running the latest version of the Google Messages app. Once all 3 of those boxes are checked on both sides of the conversation, boom, that secure connection is established.
Next up, Section 4, Spotting the Lock Icon.
Now, the crucial point here is knowing what to look for. For Android users, spotting that little lock icon has been the gold standard for privacy within their own bubble for a while now. It's a tiny but super reassuring visual cue. But now, seeing that exact same lock pop up in a chat with an iPhone user is your visual guarantee that the old walls have finally crumbled. In cybersecurity, visual feedback is everything. It takes the guesswork out of it. You don't have to sit there wondering if your connection downgraded to some sketchy SMS. That lock icon proves right there in real time that a secure, end-to-end encrypted tunnel has successfully linked your two completely different operating systems.
And honestly, maybe the coolest part of this whole update is how it works. Encryption is on by default. In the cybersecurity world, that is a massive deal. Time and time again, history has shown us that if you make people manually opt into security, like making them dig through a maze of settings to flip a toggle, the vast majority just aren't going to do it. By making this standard automatic, the tech industry is fully embracing the idea of being secure by default. This means millions of people are getting military-grade privacy without needing to be tech wizards. Whether you're firing off a brand new text or continuing a cross-platform chat you've had for years, this protection is going to silently and automatically turn itself on in the background over time.
To wrap up our explainer, this whole shift is perfectly captured by Elmar Weber, the general manager of Android and Business Communications. He states, Google Messages has had end-to-end encrypted messaging between Android devices for years, but we knew we couldn't stop there. That really hits the nail on the head, right? It highlights this continuous, unstoppable evolution of our digital privacy. The job isn't done just because you secure one single ecosystem. Real, secure communication isn't about protecting just one brand's loyalists. It's about raising the baseline of privacy for everyone, everywhere. So, we've officially conquered the cross-platform messaging divide today. But looking at this fierce commitment to constant improvement, what boundary of digital privacy do you think they'll break through next? Thanks so much for exploring this with me, and as always, keep learning.